Hey, it's Richard Betancourt. How's it going, sir? I'm just messing around with this tablet right next to me. Hey, it's Alexi Lupin, English teacher from Australia. What's going on? Let's see, I apologize for the clunk, but I gotta hit the mute button on this microphone for a moment. Testing out a few things here. I've run a few, little. No, Alexi, it's not a good memory. It's that you made a great impression. That's what it is. No, I appreciate when people, you know, come in and chat and say some things. That's always good. But no, I'm testing out a streaming app on the phone called Wirecast Go. Always looking for, well, streaming is not a big thing that I do here, but it is kind of fun to poke around at the various options and try to come up with a setup that's easy to use and quick to set up and will lend itself to fairly quiet things that I might want to do kind of spur of the moment, as well as the more scheduled ASMR radio type things. And Innocent Whispers on Twitter last week, that's the dog in the background, by the way, exercising all sorts of interesting hygiene options. I guess I've been using the iMac behind me, but it's quite a few years old now, and I guess I'm just kind of clueless, and I hadn't really thought about it that much. But Innocent Whispers pointed out on Twitter last week that the streams she does, she streams right from her phone with her Blue Yeti connected. And I got this Blue Yeti from a pawn shop a couple of weeks ago, and I said, you know what? The computer inside this phone is a lot newer than the poor processor inside my old iMac. So maybe I'd be able to come up with a little better solution and something smaller and more portable and easier to set up if I messed around with the phone. So that's what I'm doing. So I did try the YouTube app, and it seems pretty good and easy to use, but it does not have an option to stream to a live event that you set up prior. This app here is Wirecast Pro, and it does have the ability to stream to a pre-scheduled live event. So just on first blush, if the stream looks good and sounds good, I think I like this app better than the YouTube app coming out of the gate. I need to work on the monitoring. I need to read up a little bit more about monitoring, because it does not seem to be sending a headphone feed back out through the USB cable, because the headphone jack in the Yeti is not doing anything right now, but it does for the YouTube app. So I don't know. I'm just rambling. I have had an absolutely rotten week so far on a variety of fronts. Part of me just wanted to fire up the mic and just play with some things here and see if I can just chill out a little bit. I don't usually do this kind of stuff for my own benefit in terms of just, chilling out and reducing stress, but boy, I feel like I need it right now. Sometimes you have those weeks where try to do your best, and sometimes your best is good enough and sometimes it's not, but sometimes you feel like your best really, really isn't getting the job done, and that's the way I've been feeling this week. I don't know, we all have our ups and downs. I shouldn't whine, but I get to shoot a new video in the morning and then work a last half day for the week, and then it's the weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. Hey, Stuart Gilbert. Hey Stuart, were you on one of that impromptu stream I did a couple of weeks ago where Alexi was here and we were talking about yearbooks? Were you? Blame the eclipse. Exactly. I'm shooting another pocket watch video tomorrow, but then the video after that, I'm going to do that yearbook idea we talked about. That's okay, Stuart. These, I've only actually scheduled, I think, 2 of these things, but I find that I'm fond of just firing it up and, doing a quick little impromptu stream just for my own sanity and seeing who shows up. Hey, I'm saying hi to your brother Nicholas. Hey, it's Exploring with ASMR. Hello to you, sir. But Alexi, you remember that yearbook idea, right? Well, I'll tell you what. I was looking on eBay the other day, and you wouldn't believe the variety and the selection of years of yearbooks that you have to choose from on eBay. It's just unbelievable. Hey, you're welcome. No problem. I just happened to notice that, that Yeti thing in your videos. So I'm glad I was able to help. Pardon me, guys. This is one thing the app does not have, is a good way to quickly mute the microphone from the screen. I'm going to have to investigate that. Yeah, Stuart, good luck with the your in-laws coming to visit. But no, let me talk a couple more minutes about this yearbook thing. So essentially, I want it to be it's going to be basically a page-turning video where we kind of talk about the stuff that we see, that we find in the yearbook. I think the real key to this video is going to be, though, that the yearbook has to be from a time far enough in the past for a couple of reasons. One, I very much want the look. I want it to look like it's from another time, and I want it to be clear from the dress and the hairstyle of the people involved that it's from a long time ago. But then it also needs to be long enough ago that the people that we're looking at in the yearbook very generally have now passed away. And not to be, and that's not, I don't mean that for, the main reason I say that is that I think one of the compelling things about flipping through these pages and looking at these photographs, these optimistic, well-dressed photographs of these people in high school just about to start going off on whatever direction, in life they're going to go on. These pictures will have been taken at a time when all of their potential is in front of them. Everything they're going to do, be that big or small, is still in front of them. And we'll be looking through this yearbook at a time when all of their journeys have played out, right? Everything that was in store for them, the impact that they had on the world, be it big or small, the impact they had on the people around them, is done. And I think there's something very compelling about, seeing these pictures and trying to put ourselves in that space, try to imagine what they were thinking that day, and to muse about that at a time when their stories, whatever their stories were, have come to an end and are completely written and stored away in the library of time, or whatever metaphor you'd like to use. Let's see. We are Revan. Hey, thanks for being here for a little impromptu thing tonight. Yeah, Stuart, the idea is to do a page-turning video with an old yearbook. I don't know how long the U.S. tradition of yearbooks goes back, but I can tell you that just on eBay, you can get yearbooks from the 1910s, 1920s easily, and it probably goes back even farther than that. Hey, thanks, Alexi. Thanks for being here. Let me know if you see anything or hear anything going strange with the stream or with this app. Just let me know, okay? Yeah, Stuart, actually, that idea about trying to find out some things about the people, that did cross my mind, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's not better to be completely speculative about that, you know. I mean, not that I would sit there and try to guess what people did, but I guess there's something about leaving it open-ended to the imagination that I think might be more compelling. I don't know. Sometimes on some of these eBay listings, if there is a person of note that is pictured in the yearbook, they'll mention that in the listing, so they can get a higher auction price out of it. Hey, thanks. Um, I'm not sure what to call you. I know what your name is from the emails that we traded, but I don't want to say it here on in the chat if you want to stay anonymous. But exploring, yes. Agreed about the video quality, and I didn't mind that so much with my iMac because I figured that most people, would not really be, with me being kind of a no-face guy, people aren't really watching the stream for what it looks like anyway. But I'm very happy to do this from the phone and have a much higher video quality, and since it's so easy to do. And the other issue, frankly, is that OBS running on this poor old iMac, I mean, it was really all that iMac could do to keep that thing running. I like the solution is so much more clean and so much more modern that I definitely like what I'm experimenting with so far here. Really taming this Yeti. I've got it on a plate with rubber bands stretched across the plate to give it a little DIY shock isolation so that the sounds from the desk don't come right into the mic. That's really key. Yeah, I think it's working out nicely so far. Yeah, exploring. I'm really digging those kind of old school videos you're putting up. The heavy breathing in the background is the dog, of course. Apologies. This is a really quiet and simple setup compared to what I was doing before. I've got the phone here in front of the Yeti. I've got the Yeti here, and then I've got a just simple Samsung tablet off to my left side where I'm logged into my account and monitoring chat on the tablet. So, and none of these things make noise. So, not bad. I don't know, guys. It's just been kicking my butt this week. Okay, Jared, will do. Jared, do you find that, because I know you got your Yeti kind of recently too. Do you find that once you get a Yeti or any particular piece of gear, you start to notice it more in other people's videos? And I gotta say, with the Yeti in particular, no disrespect to anybody out there doing their thing and doing the best they can, but man, there's a lot of people who do not use the Yeti very well. The biggest thing I see is people talking into the back of it. You see things like that surprisingly often. So Jared is at work while he's watching this. Here I am whining about my work week, and there's Jared still putting in time for the man. Oh yeah, Jared, you're using it fine. You're using the right 7 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. Dang, dude. That is a serious shift right there. No, you're using it fine, Jared. You're using the right pattern for the style of content that you're trying to do with the left and right business, and you're actually addressing the mic to the side. I guess that's the other thing you see with the Yeti. You see people pointing this end directly at their face, and that's not where the capsules are, right? It's actually a bit of an unconventional design. There are 3 capsules in the Yeti at 120 degree angles. So one points out this way, and one this way, and one comes right out the back. There are no capsules pointing out the top, right? Now that doesn't mean that you can't still hear. It's not that it's not picking up sound, but you want to be addressing microphone capsules at their most sensitive angle, to get the specified behavior out of the microphone. Hey Brianna, thanks for the compliment. Hey Justin Finn, hello, welcome. We're just kind of hanging out, testing a streaming app here. So I'm having a haircut and a beard shaping on Saturday, Brianna. So I assume you think I should keep most of the length. I usually get about a 1/2 inch taken out of the bottom every 8 weeks or so, and take the weight out of the sides and stuff like that. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. Man, that is brutal. Is that technically second shift? I worked, I don't remember if it was all the way till 3:30. I probably did a 5 to 1:30 or to 2 shift in a Ford automotive plant in Ohio one summer with my best friend at the time. That was fun. Yeah, I think this is working out nicely. Stuart used to work 12-hour shifts, 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 nights on, 3 nights off. Wow. No, Justin, these are not marbles, but you're very close. Any other guesses? I get what you're saying about alone time on the night shifts, but it seems like that would really screw your sense of, I don't know, what day it is, Seems like that would really be hard to keep track of with a shift like that. You guys ever hear, stories about the shifts that they had to work for the Mars? The first 2 Mars rovers that went up, was it Spirit and Opportunity? You guys hear any interesting stories about how the shifts had to go then? The thing about those missions was that they really had to be very tightly coupled to the periods of Martian daylight, because so many of the mission parameters dealt with the rovers getting their power from the sunlight, and it had to be they had to park and shut down, before it got dark. So everything revolved around the Martian day, right? But the Martian day is like 2 hours longer than an Earth day. So they put the entire Martian rover team on 26-hour days. They even made watches for the team that ran on, 26-hour cycles instead of 24. And so all of the work shifts were based around a 26-hour day instead of the 24. So that doesn't sound like a big difference, but the thing is that, once you start that calendar, things are kind of okay for a while, but the days get 2 hours more out of sync every 24 hours. So, if you've got a family and one person is on the Mars program and everybody else are just regular, folks, this one person, their work schedule slowly, day by day, gets more and more out of sync with the rest of the family. And next thing you know, they're going, to work in the middle of the night. And then, and this went on for, a year or more. So then the schedules come back around to get more conventional again, and then they fall out of sync again and back in sync. It was crazy. Yeah, I think those Mars watches are another thing that you can find on eBay and stuff like that. They're definitely around. And yes, it's dice in the bag. What are you wrong about, Stuart, on the Mercury thing? About the day and the year on Mercury? Leave it to us, our itty bitty channel and itty bitty stream, to be talking about Mars days and Mercury days, and that seems about right for us. Am I right? Well, there's the dog right behind me. Yep, Jared, it's interesting. I hope it is. Sometimes there's a fine line on the internet between interesting and boring as hell. This is what the whisper sounds like with the Yeti. Testing, 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 testing. So it's Venus. Jared asks about the 3DO. You know, I think so. Yeah, Chicho. Chicho is the awesome education. That dude is so chill. He's amazingly chill. He's got something about his voice, just it's perfect for what he's trying to do. You know, it just makes everything he is trying to explain just super easy. But no, the 3DO. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with the 3DO. I think it's very content dependent. I think it's best with the kind of content where you can get very close to the ears for that ear to ear kind of a thing. If there's a problem with the 3DO, it's not a problem with the microphone. It's a problem with the perception in the community between creators and the audience that somehow there's something magic about it, and that I don't know. I see it. I see statements a lot of the time that imply that, you know, it's some sort of a standard to aspire to, and I don't really get that. A lot of times when you see a creator that started out with a 2 microphone setup and they get a 3DO for the first time, it definitely takes a while to get the hang of, and most of the problems that I see with it is that they're not getting nearly close enough to the microphone capsules in the ears, so that the whole thing has kind of a distant quality to it that I don't think they're going for. And so their content sounds a little less intimate when they first start using a 3DO than it is with their 2 microphone setup. And I would argue that that's even true of some of the pros who certainly know better and they know how to use their gear. Sometimes I just see more impressive, more intimate, and content with more presence out of 2 microphone setups than something like the 3DO. So it is true that, you know, a 2 microphone setup like that is not binaural. It's just stereo. But I do think people get a little too hung up on ASMR being best, that stereo, that just being stereo is somehow not cutting it and things have to be binaural. I'm not really on that bandwagon. And that's not because I, don't want to spend the money for a 3DO. I just, for my content, for sure, it's not a big deal. But I think a lot of the people who think they have to have a binaural experience are really only responding to the stereo aspect of it. But, that's just me rambling. I'm no audiophile when it comes to that stuff. So, my advice on that would be the same as my advice on anything. Don't go out and spend money, especially a lot of money, on gear because I'm saying be very specific about what your needs are. Go out and get a piece of gear because there is something that your current setup can't do that you want to do. And you can't do it with what you have, and you've identified that that gap could be filled by this other thing, and then you can go get the other thing. But a lot of people just buy stuff because, don't buy something because you think it will make your content better. But what do I know? You got to think about Sensor Addy from Poland is a great example because, he was using the 3DO a couple of years ago and eventually moved on and, into a really nice 2 microphone setup. And lately, since he moved to his new place, he's been kind of splitting his time between his 2 mic setup and his 3DO again. And go watch 2 of his newest videos, one with the regular setup and one with the 3DO, and see which one you like better, because he's got lots of prior experience on the 3DO, so he should know what he's doing on it. I know my preference, Drew Hayden, for me, I think he sounds the most present and the most intimate when he's using his 2 separate mic setup. But a lot of his power is in his style too, right? And his technique and what he's doing. But I'm saying when he does that into his two mics and he does it into his 3DO, I just think the two mics blow the 3DO out of the water. That's for me. But it's very subjective, right? Everybody gets triggered in different ways. Hey Justin, you mean the gas lamp ASMR thing? That came from, we've got an actual gas lamp in our front yard. And last year when I was trying to come up with a name for the channel, I was working on the gas lamp to bring it back to life because it had been shut off for a few years. And since I knew I was going to be going with a theme channel based in kind of nostalgia and tinkering and stuff like that, and since gas outdoor lighting is a bit anachronistic because you don't really, see it that much, it seemed like a good fit. Yeah, massage, ASMR, of course. Dimitri has an amazing 2 microphone setup. Don't forget that Maria, of all people, got her million. Well, okay, I shouldn't generalize, but I mean, she most generally uses a separate 2 microphone setup as well. Ardra, ASMR, one of my all-time favorites, generally uses a 2 microphone setup, or sometimes a 4 microphone setup. But Ardra uses the ears also. She likes, coating them in things and peeling stuff off of them and stuff. But nothing beats her nothing beats Ardra's whispering and soft speaking, though. That woman's got powerful control over her artistic vision and her technique. Everything's still sounding and looking okay out there. I'm not monitoring my microphone right now, so we're testing the Wirecast Go app on the iPhone 6 tonight. I'm definitely impressed with it so far. I think it's working out great. I can definitely see me using this for a regular, scheduled ASMR radio episode. Really find myself wishing these little wooden blocks had a little more of a pingy tone to them. They're a little bit dead. Hey, there's Repaired. Repaired, you asked a question for the one-year Q&A. I hope you were able to listen to the answer. Jared, you asked about Zeitgeist. I think, I said on the Q&A video that I don't get to see as much content as I want, and Zeitgeist is one of those guys. I think I've seen maybe one of his videos. I I haven't explored a lot of him. I assume this is streaming out at 720. I appreciate you guys chatting a little bit with me tonight. This is just a little break I needed. So is the HD looking okay out there? HD or 720 was always my default mode for the regular videos anyway, but that was more because, I do my rendering on an old PC, and going 720 instead of 1080 really helps cut down the rendering times. Someday I'll get a new laptop or something. Justin, you just found my videos a couple of hours ago? That's cool, although for some reason I thought I recognized your name, maybe not. That's cool, welcome. I'm glad I hope you find something you are interested in. Yeah, I'm gonna get out some really old watches tomorrow. My very first video on this channel was about a pocket watch, so I'm gonna dip back into the collection and dig out some watches that are 145 years old. 145 years. That's hard to get your mind around, isn't it? I was really into antique pocket watches for a while, and I put a very small collection together, but I did a lot of reading about them and stuff like that. And so last year, when I was putting a list of video ideas together, I had a whole section about antique pocket watch ideas. but I said, because I was, I thought of several ideas right off the bat that I thought would be really cool to do. But I remember thinking, but I don't want to be, I don't want to be pigeonholed as the pocket watch ASMR guy. So I want to make sure I don't go back to the pocket watch well too often. And here I am a year later, and I never did. I managed to find another year's worth of stuff to talk about, and I never went back to the pocket watches. So a year later, we'll dig some old ones out and talk about them. Should be fun, and hopefully, I think I'm doing a little bit better of a job. Not on this stream, but for my regular videos of slowing down my pace and trying to be more chill about my delivery. And so if I combine that with another pocket watch video, I hope it'll turn out to be something you guys will dig. I have a very hard time watching myself. Yeah, Jared, check out that first video. I was just getting ready to say that I cringe really bad when I try to watch any of my videos back again. And I think the older the video is, the more cringe I feel, and it's mostly because of pacing. Especially on those older videos, I feel like I'm I get too relaxed and then too at ease and excited about a topic, and I just talk too fast. Yeah, Drew, I'm shooting the new video tomorrow morning, so it should be up on Sunday or Monday. Be a nice, patient little show and tell. I'm going to be looking at 3 watches. All made in 1872, in the first year of production by the Illinois Watch Company. Should be cool. I hope. Yeah, Jared, I can't do it. I'm a very, as soon as I hit upload on a video, I never go back to that thing. I shut the door and I'm on to the next thing. There probably hasn't been more than a half dozen times when I've needed to go back and watch anything I've done. I do not care for it. I mean, I do try to improve, so, I think I see enough of the video when I'm editing. So if I see things that I kind of didn't like the way I did, or I'm making notes about what I can do better in the future, I learn all that in the editing process. I don't need to watch it. I don't need to watch the finished project, multiple times to get that kind of stuff out of it. So once it uploads, that's pretty much it. I never go back to it. Imagine next year as your content evolves. Well, I might run out of things to talk about in the next year. Who knows? Drew Hayden. You watched all of the videos, old to new? Seriously? That's really cool. I appreciate that. You know, the old ones still kind of lag behind the new ones in terms of views, and so I figure most people always kind of favor the newest things. It never really occurs to me that someone would watch the entire collection from back to front. That's pretty humbling. What software do I use? If you're talking about editing software, Justin, I use Sony Movie Studio Platinum 13, I think is Movie Studio, Movie Maker. No, Movie Studio. Used to be Vegas. Oh, that's so cool of you, Drew. That had to have taken a lot of time. Some of those videos are perhaps longer than they need to be. Although I never get feedback that the videos are too long, right? I think too long is better than too short if you're trying to de-stress or use something for sleep, I think, so. But that's another thing I had to get used to, you know. I mean, one of the reasons that I split the space mission stamp video into two pieces is that, you know, when I got done first recording it, it was like 40 or 44 minutes or something like that, and I could not even conceive the possibility that someone would be interested enough in hearing me whisper about old space stamps to watch 44 minutes of it. I was absolutely convinced that 44 minutes was way too long, and so I split it into two. And then, you know, 6 months later, I'm doing 80-minute videos talking about maps, so who knows? Thanks, Repaired. The first map video. Yeah, I don't know why those map videos get so many more views than everything else. It's crazy. Nothing wrong with keeping it simple, Jared. I'm a big fan of keeping the workflow as smooth and simple as possible too. The only reason, you know, I'm editing at all is because I'm not recording my audio on my phone. I'm recording it separately, so I need to marry the two up at some point. Yeah, those map videos, I don't know what the deal is with those. So I just said I didn't want to be known as the ASMR pocket watch guy, you know, but now I got these two map videos that generated half of all the views on my channel, so I might be turning into the ASMR maps guy. I don't know. You never know. It's I appreciate you telling me this, Drew. It's kind of blowing me away, the thought of anybody marathoning the stuff that I do, you know. I love it. You know, I'm so glad you enjoy it, but I guess I don't have a lot of insight into how people consume this stuff, Yeah, Justin, YouTube algorithms. There's a lot of black magic going on behind the scenes with those things. A lot of black magic. Yeah, now that the kids are back in school, it's a little bit easier to do things like Friday morning video recordings. It is really hard during the summer to find quiet time to record, I'll tell you that. This Yeti is not bad for a $35 pawn shop purchase. Especially when I saw the new one sitting on the shelf at Best Buy the other day for $140 or whatever they are. Yeah, Jared, I've pretty much done it all in terms of trying to find good times to record. I've done really late at night, drinking Red Bull and stuff like that to try to stay sharp. I've done it in the morning, done it in the middle of the day, and have to stop or plan to do something in the day, and then the lawnmowers start up or something like that. Hey, Robert, thanks for the love on the beard. Appreciate that. And good little mustache is actually a mess, but it's too wavy to do, to do a nice sweep like I would like to do. But Jared, on the time of day question, I finally found that, I couldn't, those late at night sessions, I was able to get stuff done, but I was so tired and so brain dead that, especially for these videos where I'm talking about something, sometimes I forget important things that I wanted to say. They slip my mind until after I shut the camera off. I make notes sometimes, but they're just kind of a mess. The morning time is the best for me, and just having my wits about me and putting together a discussion, an exploration, a set of observations that I think are on point, that are up to the vision for the video and that topic that I was trying to get across. So we spent roughly the same amount on our Yetis, Jared. That's pretty cool. $30 blue Yetis. They're all the rage. As long as I don't accidentally brush against the microphone, you don't notice that it's sitting on a bed of rubber bands, because then it starts swaying back and forth, like we just had an earthquake or something. Chankla Chakra. Hey, boss. Welcome. We're just kind of hanging out. We're just kind of hanging out, testing out this mobile streaming app. We're testing out Wirecast Go tonight. A flamenco clicket. Is that a flamenco clicket? If you're talking about these little guys, no. These are just cheap plastic poker chips. But I will probably shut this down in the next 10 minutes or so, because speaking of being well rested for videos, I do want to be well rested for tomorrow. I think I'm going to get out the boards, the weathered wooden boards that I used for the old keys video. I'm going to use that for the pocket watches, I think. $145 years old. And you can still wind them. It's just crazy to think about. One of the video ideas related to watches that was on my list from last year was to have an antique pocket watch and an iPhone, and to kind of compare and contrast, what each was used for, the fact that each was a piece, like a daily carry type item. And one of the things that you can't escape when you're comparing those two devices is that, 145 years later, the pocket watch still does what it was intended to do, right? And how many iPhones will still be working 145 years after they're made? 400 months for Stuart Gilbert. Way to go, man. We won't calculate my months. Yeah, when's the cutoff before you stop talking about months? That's a good question. It's my dog breathing in the background. Levitating old man. Thanks for being with us. Sleep well, okay? Probably wrap it up in the next few minutes myself. Martin asks, how much would you have to receive to shave that beard? Okay, Jared. Enjoy the rest of your shift tonight. And thanks for being with us, okay? Repaired says blasphemy. I don't know, man. You know, I've had facial hair of some manner or another pretty much my whole life, but and part of that time has been a full beard, but it's always been closely trimmed to the face. And you know, one thing that I've never been happy with is that I've never had a really strong chin or jawline in profile. I have this chin that just kind of goes from, I have this neck that goes from my chin right to my chest, right? It's just not a good look in profile. And, you know, the last 4 years or something like that, I tried a longer beard, and you know, that lets me have a shape that I can do something with that looks better than what my profile looks like on its own. So it, you know, the key is to keep it shaped in such a way that you can pull it off in a white collar work environment and look like it's stylish and intentional, and not like you're not taking care of yourself, you know. Because a lot of people in those kind of office environments don't have a lot of exposure to medium length facial hair. So, but it's been going okay, I think. So the point is, you know, that's the main apprehension about shaving it, is because I don't like the way I look without it anymore. But if you want to send me a really nice gimbal stabilizer for my phone so that I can start working on those outdoor covered bridge videos, then maybe we'll talk. Just kidding. All right. Well, I'd say this was a pretty successful test. I'm pretty happy with this software. Yeah, I really wish these pieces of wood sounded a little different than they do. No, nobody at my work knows that I do ASMR. The only people who know are the people in my family who live in this house, because it would be, logistically awkward for me to create content like this in a way that, they would never know about it. So that's, I kind of had to let them know, but nobody outside the family knows. And that is perfectly fine with me. I don't want to I'm just not interested in trying to explain, what this is all about. This is for me, not them. There is always that kind of scenario you wonder about, right? Where you find out that a coworker does actually watch ASMR, and then they say something like, "Have you ever heard of ASMR?" And then you say something like, "Yeah, I've seen that acronym. I think I know what that is." And then they talk about some of their favorites, and there's always the kind of the make-believe scenario, imagining if someone was talking to me about that and said, "Oh, and there's this great, it's an itty-bitty channel, but it's called Gaslamp ASMR, and that guy is just fabulous." That would be the funniest damn conversation ever. Needless to say, that has never happened. But that's okay. Hey there, Whisper of a Ghost. Can't believe I'm getting to see you live. Thanks so much. Well, you're very welcome. I like just popping on. The easier that I can make this streaming setup, the easier it is to do kind of just little pop on streams. I do. Well, like I said earlier, I've had a rotten week, and I just really wanted to take a few minutes just to pop on here, chill out with some objects, see who would join me on the chat, and just have a little conversation. So I'm glad you were able to be here with us. Plus, I really did need to test this software, so we're killing several birds with one stone. Oh. Accidentally linked some colleagues to a Reddit thread I commented on. Yep. I get you. It's all out there, man. Once you put stuff out there, it stays out there. I guess that's one of several reasons why I do the no face thing on this channel. Astral ASMR, cool to see you. Martin, how long have you been streaming this session? So far, I'm at about an hour and 20 minutes on this session. Yes, or 80 minutes, as Stuart says. Is that like the 21 months thing? Should I have said 80 minutes instead of an hour and 20 minutes? How have you been, Astral ASMR? It's good to see you. by any other measure, because this is a small channel, anytime I do pop on for a quick stream, I don't, we don't get very many people in the chat, but I must say that I do not mind that at all, because, I can glance down here and see neat comments, and we can have a conversation about stuff. And, I absolutely love these big channels that do streams, and I think it's great. But, to see the chat on those big channels just flying by, and you can't single out anything that anybody's saying and actually really interact in a meaningful way. And see, like if we had 1,000 people in this chat, then I would have missed this ridiculous, fractional month joke thing that Stuart Gilbert's got going on here. See, and that's super cool. I would hate to have missed that. Astral ASMR has been job hunting. Does that, if you don't mind me asking, does that mean you're in a job now and you're hunting for a different / better job, or are you in between jobs? Hey, Whisper of a Ghost. First started watching you with the old catalog videos. What catalog videos do you mean? I've done a Life magazine video. Relaxing ASMR has done a ton of excellent old catalog videos. He's one of my top 3 in terms of ASMR content inspirations. Oh, Astral ASMR, I apologize. I think I did know that. I knew you were just graduated from college because of some other stuff you told me a few months ago. Well, congratulations on graduating, and I hope you're not looking too long. Oh, the trade catalogs with the scales. I'm sorry. You're right, Stuart. It's Rick James. Thank you, Rick. That I take that comment as high praise, because relaxing ASMR is like my spirit animal. That dude knows what's up. No offense taken at all, Whisper. If you actually mistook me for relaxing ASMR, that's actually the nicest thing anyone has said to me today. So I appreciate that. Yeah, Astral, I remembered. Because you were involved in some very interesting stuff as that kind of college corporate project thing. I don't want to say too many details here, but yeah, I remember. Are you looking for a job in that industry, in that field, going in that direction? Because that's got to be fairly specialized, right? Boy, I would love it if Relaxing ASMR did streams. I don't think he's ever done one, but I would be all over that if he did. Martin asks about the eclipse. Did ever put in your chat if put something in the chat if you saw the eclipse? I didn't look at the eclipse. I did go outside. I was at work, of course, during that day. I've seen eclipses before, and I like, kind of my favorite thing about an eclipse is the nature of the light outdoors at the point of totality, because it's not the same in my mind. It's not the same light that you get when the sun is behind a cloud. There's something different about it, right? At my point, about 90 to 91%. At my spot in the country where it was totality, and it looked kind of, that weird, eerie kind of pseudo darkness was going on outside, and it was pretty cool. Actually, it looks like it was a good thing we're doing a little bit longer stream tonight, because it's a good chance to see how much battery this program sucked down. Looks like I'm down to 20% right now. Yeah, we're at 20% after an hour and a half. And I started off with a mostly charged battery, so that's actually a good thing to know. So I will be shutting things down here pretty soon. Robert Smith lived in Idaho. Great view of the eclipse. That is awesome. Stuart Gilbert, you're in Oregon. Mackenzie Bridge, Oregon. Repaired had 87% coverage. So not much of a change. Astral's casting a wide net. Okay, well, good luck, Astral. I really appreciate you being here. Whoa, Stuart. So you went 11 hours out to Oregon and stayed in a cabin for the purpose of seeing the eclipse and then came back? Is that what you did? Kane Carlson says, "What's up? What's up, Kane?" Whisper, that's a great question. The only reason I'm running on battery on the phone right now is because I'm running the Yeti into the lightning port. And in order to do that and also have a charging cable connected, I would need the different adapter that has the two side by side. It terminates in a female USB-A connector on one side of the connector body, and then lightning, a charge port on the other. I don't have that adapter. I have the regular adapter that just terminates in a USB. So I can't have the Yeti plugged into the phone and a charge cable plugged into the phone at the same time. So that's why. And, those crazy specialized adapter cables are pretty pricey. Anyway. Wow. 11 hours to Oregon for a cabin for the eclipse. That is That is outstanding, Stuart Gilbert. Pinhole projector. Good job, man. That is very cool. All right, everybody. Well, oh gosh, it's midnight where I'm at, so Martin asks the tough questions. If you were at 100% and how many months is that? I'm going to let Stuart Gilbert answer that question, because the D20, Jonathan Saunders, how you doing? Well, like in another life, like way long ago, I did a little bit of D&D, but mostly these days it's just for life totals and Magic the Gathering. Can't think of much else that we use the D20s for. That's about it. Kane Carlson says, I remind him of relaxing ASMR. I appreciate that. He is one of my favorites. Repaired 1/496th of a month. Maxi Waxy, we're getting ready to shut down here, man. I'm sorry. I was just testing out an app tonight, and you guys are killing me with the math jokes in the chat. That is perfect. I'm so glad. It's a great testament to my first year of content that I've got a chat full of people giving me ridiculous fractional calendar math jokes. Yeah, Maxie, don't worry about it. This was just an impromptu little stream because I'm testing some stuff out on the phone, but I didn't announce this or anything. I do not know when I'm going to be streaming again. I may schedule a stream maybe in between the Pocket Watch video and the yearbook video using this setup. So maybe we'll get a few more people here. Although I've had upwards of 20 people concurrently tonight, so that's actually not bad for me for an unannounced stream. But I definitely think this software is going to work perfectly fine to keep using it, so I may schedule something for next weekend perhaps. Or if you're on Twitter at all, find me on Twitter, because I do if I do something like an impromptu stream like tonight, I'll usually say something about it on Twitter. So I'm at Gaslamp ASMR on Twitter if any of you guys do that. Okay? Yeah, Jonathan, I appreciate you being here. Light would travel 1.006 billion miles in a vacuum in those 90 minutes. Because light is pretty zippy. That's what I've heard about light. 7 times around the Earth in a second or something like that, right? I appreciate you guys being here tonight. You have put me in a much better mood, and so, you've helped me make sure I don't go to bed with being grumpy from the rough work week I've had. So mission accomplished, and I appreciate it, guys. And gals. I think there's at least one gal in there. So cool, everybody. Thanks for helping me out with this test. And I hope you all have a great evening, and enjoy the rest of your week. And look for the Pocket Watch the new Pocket Watch video probably Sunday evening or Monday morning. I should have it done then, okay? All right. Say goodbye to everybody. And we will... You're very welcome, Rick James. Thanks for being here. And thanks for all your music. Just kidding. Whispers of a Ghost is a gal, and I think there's one other, but I won't say. Thank you, Whispers. Sweet dreams to you, too. All right, everybody. Have a great night or morning. Sleep well, and we will catch you guys